So let's talk about the weekly paperwork every crabber has to fill out. Crabbers have to fill out paperwork? Yes, paperwork.
Me crabber, me don't want to fill out paperwork. Me want to catch crabs.
Yeah, we do it for the regulating body, and it's a really important piece of the management of the fishery. So let's talk about it a little bit.
So let's talk about the weekly crab catch reports that I have to do for my regulating commission, which is the Potomac River Fisheries Commission.
I ain't filling out no paperwork.
And they're in Colonial Beach, Virginia. And every crabber has to fill one of these out, regardless of whether or not you crab that week.
I ain't filling out no paperwork.
But there's instructions here that tell you everything you need to do and how to fill it out and where you need to send it to.
I don't like paperwork.
So that's really helpful. Now they make labels for each individual crabber for us, which is nice. It's got all our personalized information, and we just take it off for the week. And this is the form for the week right here. So whatever week it is, take your label and you stick it right there. And our season runs from April 1st through the end of November. So if you don't crab until May, you just write that you didn't crab that week, and when you think you might start crabbing, you put that here. And then when you're done, you say, well, I won't crab anymore. Maybe you're finished at the end of October, for example. So you write that down, and then that lets them know that they can't expect any more reports from you. They want to know where you crabbed. So which nearest point of land is the start of your line, Coles Point, Maryland Point, things like that. And then the end of your line. So, wherever's the nearest point of land, you write that here. Wherever your port is, or your creek of where you're landing your crabs, where you take your crabs off your boat, that's what they want to know here. And then down here is where your actual catch numbers are. So for every day of the week on Sunday, they want to know how many bushels or pounds of number 1 males that you've caught, and number 2 males. Right here, you would write that. And then if you have bushels of females or pounds of females, you'd put that here. How many peelers and how many soft crabs you might have, you would put that here. If you find any dead crabs, because maybe the water's low on oxygen and the crabs have died in the pot, you want to write those numbers here too. That does happen from time to time. If you have, then they want to know how many crab pots you have set, right? And then how many you fished on that particular day. So you write those numbers here. And if you have peeler pots or traps set, you would do the same thing right here. And then how many crew members you have. And then down here, they want to know how much you've been paying per pound or per bushel, right down here, and then who you sold it to, and then who bought it. So, yeah, and you got to do it every week, and it's really helpful to the commission. A lot of people look at this paperwork and they think it's just another government requirement, but honestly, the reports are one of the biggest tools of the fishery and the managers, and they use this information. Every commercial crabber, and they combine it with biological surveys or scientific sampling, and that data helps them understand how the crab population is doing from year to year, and then they can make decisions better. They're also working with, I know the Potomac River Fisheries Commission is working with Maryland Department of Natural Resources and Virginia Marine Resource Commission, because blue crabs don't know where the state lines are, so they got to work together to make decisions. And sharing that information, coordinating the regulations, it helps protect the resource while also keeping opportunities available for commercial and recreational crabbers. So no regulation's ever going to make everybody happy. That's for dang on sure, but the goal is to at least base some decisions on good science, and filling out these, harvest data and these reports makes things as fair as possible. And at the end of the day, we all, not just the crabbers, every citizen depends on a healthy crab population. So taking a few minutes each week to fill out these reports accurately is just a small way that every crabber contributes to the future of the fishery. So it's paperwork, but It's paperwork that actually matters. So anyway, hope you liked it. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Paperwork sucks.